Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Atlas. And today's episode is actually extremely important. If you guys are watching this video, this is one of those videos that you should definitely make sure that you share with other people, because there's a lot of naysayers out there. When you talk to them and you say about the potential of Bitcoin hitting $100,000, $500,000, $1 million, $10 million, they shrug it off. They shrug it off because to them, that's very unrealistic. Heck, there's a lot of people out there that even think that $20,000 is unrealistic. Then you got people like the Winklevoss twins, who in this document from Cointelegraph today, they said that they think it could go to $500,000. So the purpose of this video is to make this very relatable to you with other references and keep it grounded and show you just why a Bitcoin can become worth at least $500,000. So I'm not going to have this video be edited. We're going to be running through this as smoothly as possible. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure that you hit subscribe. It would be very helpful to me. It also does help out with this video and getting its discoverability. If you guys hit that like button, the more likes, the better. And drop a comment down below. Let me know if you guys found this information valuable. If you have a different perspective view, you're more than welcome to voice yourself. Anything else related to cryptocurrency, if you have questions, things like that. I'm not a financial advisor. I do want to put that out there right now. So the things that I'm sharing with you, please make sure you go do your own research and make your own decision about whether you make these investments or not. So this is for entertainment purposes. I did a lot of research and hopefully it is valuable to you and it helps you figure out what direction you want to take it. Okay, so going into the article, they're equating this to gold, which a lot of people tend to do as a store of value, and you can see that there are a lot of similarities. There's a couple differences, and that's why also some people decide that they want to invest in Bitcoin specifically over gold, because they feel that it has more benefit in those regards. So down here, it says that if we are right about using a gold framework to value Bitcoin and Bitcoin continues on this path, then the bull case scenario for Bitcoin is that it is undervalued by a multiple of 45. Said differently, the price of Bitcoin could appreciate 45 times from where it is today, which means we could see a price of 500,000 US dollars per Bitcoin. Let's take a look at a couple of things right now. What is the price of Bitcoin at the moment? $11,372.67. As far as for where it could be leading into next, very quickly, we'll kind of roll into this. Also on Cointelegraph, other quotations, which was from the Byzantine General. This was quoted as saying, let's keep it simple, 11,500 key level, which is where I have the green right here. And if it goes for the weekly, so I have it on the weekly chart there, if it closes above that, then it's looking like the next range to touch is going to be 16,000. So it's very bullish. If it closes below, then we're looking at 10,500. And as a correlation, you can see that if it hits up to the $16,000 range from that point of which it was referenced, that's going to be a 39% increase. If it pushes down to the 10,500 level, you're looking at about a 9% decrease. There's potential of it even going towards the $9,600 range, trying to fill that CME gap, which would be a further decline. Technically, if we went ahead and pulled this down to the $9,600 range, you'd be looking at just around 17% in a decline, which is not unexpected. We've seen these kinds of things, and especially in cryptocurrency, happen before. So don't be too caught off guard if something like that does happen. Long term, right? So passing $16,000, short term, that's very reasonable. Long term, the 500,000, right? If 16,000 is possible, 20,000 as it's happened before, we know that because it's happened before, that's possible. Pushing further beyond that, that's where we're kind of looking at right now. But just to get yourself guys as grounded, seeing if we could even continue moving up beyond where we're at now, or did we hit our peak? There's a lot of references that suggest that, yeah, we can continue moving up for sure. So aside from that, let's go ahead and tap in a couple other things. From the news.bitcoin.com website, they said in an earlier report, Glassnode noted that the number of whales with 1,000 Bitcoin or more in their wallets had risen to 1,882 by June from around 1,650 in January, but they're not as rich as anymore. So it's risen to 1,882, right? Let's just kind of put this into perspective. If you do 1,882 times the 1,000 Bitcoin that they each own times the current price of Bitcoin, how much money do those people own just by themselves? Those whales, based on where we are at right now. right? So if we go and we do the math on that, that would actually be on this calculator. Sorry about that. That would equate to $21 billion, right? Because we got the 100,000s right there, 396 million. So $21 billion. And what is the current price, the market capitalization for Bitcoin? It's 210. So you're looking at about 10% of the market. The other 90% is anybody that has less than 1,000 Bitcoin. So they don't have majority. They own a big portion, right? It's more than like a quote unquote 1%, but we're talking about for the 1,000 Bitcoin in a wallet or more. There's other wallets that have even more than that, obviously. Like some people are going to have more than others. Some, like the wallets that are claimed with Satoshi Nakamoto, you're looking at like over 1 million Bitcoin in one possession alone, but some of those might be gone forever. So it's not necessarily in the circulating supply. So that's just some things to be taken in consideration with that alone. Now, if we take a look at some of the other things, right? I did another calculator setup over here, which was the $500,000 that the Winklevoss twins were talking about. That would put it at its total market cap for Bitcoin. Just keep that in mind with everything that it's at right now, at the same as gold. So it's estimated to be about, what was it they said? 9 million, 6 million? I'm sorry, trillion? They said 9 trillion. So $9 trillion is the estimated value of the gold industry. So if you see that Bitcoin and gold have a lot of similarities, and the way that they're being applied as a store of value primarily, right? And the way that the industry space goes, if it was to match that of gold, we'd be looking at $500,000. But again, let's go into a couple other elements that are here. So over on this other calculator, you got $500,000 per coin times 1,000 coins that one of these whales owns, right? They have at least. So that person would have at least $500 million worth of ownership. If you did it times all the whales that have over 1,000, that would equate to $941 trillion. Right? So go ahead and try and do this reference here again. So there's 100,000 or billion, sorry, 941 billion. My bad. $941 billion. And when you're talking about the $9 trillion, that's where I was kind of going with, you're looking at about 10% of that total value, but that's distributed amongst 1,882 people based on where everything's at right now. Okay, so only 10% of people would have all of the value if it had equated to that of the gold. So those people would be very, very profitable if they had kept their Bitcoin this entire time, leading all the way up to this, leading past $100,000. They don't get FOMO. They don't, you know, they just keep holding. They keep hodling. They keep it going, going, going until at some point, and they even still have possession of it. They haven't died. A lot of other factors could come into play with something like this. So let's go look at this, a couple other things here. So you look at people like Jeff Bezos, the guy that did Amazon, right? It was doing Amazon. He's still with them. Back in December 30th, 2019, from Business Insider, it estimated net worth of $116 billion. Just him alone, $116 billion. But that was back in December. Since then, we've had Corona, we've had inflation, a lot of other elements that have gone in. And because of that, American billionaires have added $282 billion to their total wealth in less than 1 month's time. That was back in May. And as of today, Jeff Bezos becomes the first person ever to be worth $200 billion. So you're looking at about 9 months later, 8 months later, about 8 months later, he's nearly doubled his value. And he's in the tech space. The tech space, especially with the way that the world is right now, is a very profitable industry to be looking into. As an investor, as a company, and something like cryptocurrencies, it is a tech-based field. And as a currency, it's very transferable. It's the rates are lower, they're faster. There's lots of different application reasons. I'm not getting into that. I'm just trying to simplify the fact and make it referenceable. Referenceable? Give you guys more references, just make that more simple for myself. Give you guys more references to other things to kind of equate to you in your mind that, yeah, that is actually possible. So somebody like Jeff Bezos, if he was to get in on Bitcoin, he's got $116 billion, right? So of those whales that have $500 million worth, he could be one of them very easily. No problem. He could have 500, he could have the 500,000 times the 1,000 that he had right there, and he would be totally fine. Where'd my other calculator go? So $500 million, $500 million. He's got way more than $1 billion, just him alone. But how many other people are out there that have lots of money? Well, as far as people that have more than 50,000 or 100,000, there's 36,202 according to this article for just America alone that have more than $100 million. More than 36,000 people for over $100 million. That's not as much as $500 million. Why do I keep saying that? It's not as much as the $500 million. So this number is obviously going to go down, but 36,000 compared to the 1,882. If it was even 4,000 of the 36,000, right? So there's way less. And that alone should show you that it is definitely feasible to have $500 million worth of a profit or an asset that you own by the time that this is moved up and accrued in itself. As far as for how many billionaires that there are in the whole world, there's 2,095 billionaires. Do you understand that? So for it to hit $500,000 per coin of the whales that have the most per person, that have 1,000, right? If you went to every single one of them, you said you have 1,000, you have 1,000, you have 1,000, all those people, there's not even enough billionaires. You couldn't say to every single billionaire, hey, here's 1,000 based on what we have. We know that every single one of you billionaires out there, you already planned all this, put your tinfoil conspiracy hat on, and you all have at least 1,000 Bitcoin. We know for sure that that's not true, right? This is billionaires. So for $500 million, you're halfway there already to be into that point with the billionaires. That's something for you to kind of put into perspective. $500,000 equating to that of gold is just one industry space to take into consideration. And that's if people are deciding that they want to take, if they do or do not want to take out their investments also from real estate, from the stock market. There's lots of other industry spaces besides just gold. You got the whole derivatives market. That in itself is massive. It is massive. So for it to hit $500,000, not factoring in inflation, because remember, the more money that you print, whether it's the United States or it's Brazil, Mexico, you name any country, the more money that you print, it requires more of that to be able to buy something that is depreciating in its production rate, like Bitcoin. You have quantitative easing, like what you have with the printing of money, and you have quantitative hardening, like what's going on with Bitcoin, because we know that there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. So for $500,000, yes, it is without a doubt very possible. Without a doubt, without a shred of doubt in my mind. The circulating supply that you see right now, it's not even what's really there, because you guys need to remember that of that circulating supply, and this is kind of the last thing that I'm going to touch on, go back to the CoinMarketCap. Where did it go? The circulating supply of 18,472,000. There's several million that is estimated to be gone forever. Satoshi Nakamoto's wallet hasn't been touched in years. Nothing moved, and we can see all of this because of the blockchain industry space. So if that is just gone, even though it's on the board and it says it's a circulating supply, it's not actually being moved around. So from supply and demand, if you're demanding to get some Bitcoin, but the person that owns this large amount is no longer alive, They have no longer the access to it. They've lost their wallet. Their computer burned up in a fire years ago. They forgot their login information, et cetera, et cetera. They're in jail, whatever, right? If all that happens, then the circulating supply is actually less. So your demand is continuing to increase. Where we're at now, as compared to 3 years ago, there are way more people that want to get into this industry space. And there's also way more people that have a lot more money to be able to spend. And when you see the value of the dollar destabilizing, it's crumbling before our very eyes, and other countries that have referenced on their principal design off of the US dollar, and even they are starting to lose a lot of belief in it, and they're looking to other assets, this very well could be the global backing-based system. Used to be backed on gold, the whole idea of being backed on the United States dollar, and these mechanics, right? The time is changing, and you have to move with the times. If you're so caught in your mind and you're dead set of living in the past, you're forgetting to live in the present and to keep your eyes on the future so you can capitalize on it when the time is right. Hopefully this video has been beneficial to you. It's a little bit long, but hopefully not too long for you. And I hope that puts it into perspective. Yes, $500,000 in comparison to what the other people already have in the world. Again, not including inflation and how much money is going out there. It is definitely possible. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. As many of you guys, please, it only takes a 1/10 of a second to hit that like button. And the more of you guys that leave comments and also hit that like button, it will help this video rank higher and you get better discoverability. Feel free to share this with some friends. And yeah, guys, I will see you in the next episode.